October 12th is the Feast of Carlo Acutis, the teenager some call the first millennial saint. Thousands around the world admire his faith and ask for his intercession. But not everyone is convinced. In fact, when I made my last video about him, some people left comments accusing the Church of lying about his body, calling him embalming sick, or saying he was only canonized because his family was wealthy. So today, on his feast day, let's face those criticisms head on. What's true, what's myth, and why does Carlo Acutis matter now more than ever? The images that went viral across the internet, the ones of Carlo Acutis in the glass coffin, sparked a flood of speculation. Those same images even became the subject of my thumbnail, where I posed the provocative question, why does his body appear so well preserved? As so often happens online, many people jumped straight to conclusions and commented without watching the video. If they had, they would have noticed that I made it very clear. Carlo's body is not incorrupt, and the Church has never claimed that it was. On the contrary, the Vatican openly explained that his body was treated for preservation. Millions of pilgrims visit his tomb, and it is standard practice in such cases to embalm or reconstruct the body so that the faithful can venerate relics with dignity. You may agree with the practice or not, but the purpose is not deception, it's reverence. The truth, then, is far simpler than the conspiracy theories. Carlo's body was not incorrupt, and the Church never said it was. For some people, the idea of embalming or reconstructing a body feels disturbing. A few even called it sick in the comments. But this reaction usually comes from a modern discomfort with death, rather than an accurate picture of Catholic tradition. For centuries, the Church has cared for the remains of saints, not because of an obsession with death, but because those bodies are reminders of eternal life. Preserving a saint's body is an act of reverence, not morbidity. Think about how museums preserve historical artifacts, not to idolize them, but to protect and honor what they represent. In the same way, the Church treats the remains of holy men and women with dignity because their lives point beyond themselves to Christ. Another common criticism was that Carlo's road to sainthood was somehow paved by money, that his wealthy family bought him a reputation. It's true his family was comfortable financially, but holiness cannot be purchased or inherited. What makes Carlo remarkable is how little wealth mattered to him. He lived simply, gave his allowance to the poor, and defended classmates who were bullied. Most importantly, he dedicated his time and talents to building his Eucharistic Miracles website, a project entirely his own. The Church has canonized saints from every background, kings and queens, yes, but also shepherds, beggars, and slaves. Carlo's family didn't write his cause for sainthood, his life of virtue did. Some accused Catholics of worshiping Carlo. This is one of the oldest misunderstandings about Catholic devotion. The distinction is actually very clear. Worship belongs to God alone. Saints are not worshipped, they are honored or venerated. Why venerate them? Because they are friends of God who inspire us and intercede for us. Think of it this way: if you ask a friend to pray for you here on earth, you're not worshiping your friend, you're asking for help. Catholics do the same with saints, only now those friends are in heaven, standing closer to God. So when people honor Carlo, they're not replacing Christ, they're recognizing a young man who points directly toward him. Some commenters claimed, he's not a saint, this is just the Vatican PR. That dismissal is outdated, and here's the truth. Carlo Acutis was canonized on September 7, 2025 by Pope Leo XIV. But canonization doesn't happen overnight or by popularity. It requires rigorous investigation, proofs of heroic virtue, and crucially, two medically inexplicable miracles. The first miracle, which led to his beatification in 2020, involved the healing of a young Brazilian boy with a congenital pancreatic condition. The second miracle, recognized by the Vatican in May of 2024, involved a 21-year-old Costa Rican woman, Valeria Valverde, who fell from her bicycle in Florence and suffered severe head trauma and hemorrhage. After her mother prayed at Carlo's tomb in Assisi, doctors observed remarkable recovery. She began breathing on her own, regained movement, and by a CT scan, the hemorrhage had disappeared. With that second miracle officially approved, the Church moved forward with the canonization and declared him a saint. If critics claim there's been no miracle or suspect the process, they're using outdated information. Carlo is now a canonized saint by the Church's own criteria, and the miracles attributed to him underwent stringent scrutiny before being approved. So yes, there are critics. Some say it's fake, others say it's sick, some say it's just money. But when you look past the noise, you find something striking. Carlo Acutis wasn't extraordinary because his body was preserved. He was extraordinary because in a digital, distracted world, he put Christ at the center of everything, and he's still inspiring people to do the same. So this and every October 12th, whether you're skeptical or devout, I invite you to ask the same question Carlo asked every day. Am I living for Christ? Because in the end, that's the truth no critic can cancel. If you found this video helpful, hit like. It costs nothing and helps more people find us. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Carlo is a saint for our times? If you want to see more stories like this, subscribe. I've got more incredible tales of faith, history, and miracles coming soon.